Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? I hope that you guys are having a great Saturday, wherever you are located in the world. Shalom. How are you guys doing? I am just in a relaxed mode right now. It's a lot of very intense, very serious things going on in the world. So I'm taking this time to relax. And come on, I don't come on live often. So just decided to come on for a bit and talk to you guys. Just random stuff. I don't really have anything particular. There's so much that we can talk about, right? But I hope that you guys are having a great Saturday, wherever you are in this world. I hope and pray that everything is going well for you. And if it's not, just know that it will get better. It will get better. Just hang in there. If you outlast your troubles, you will feel better. You just have to be determined to outlast whatever it is that's trying to stop you, whether it's people, government systems, family, fake friends, religious people, even some so-called spiritual people can try to throw a monkey wrench in your plans. And you have to determine that nothing's going to stop you. Nothing is going to stop you. Nothing is going to hinder you. Nothing is going to block you. Nothing can block you. Please understand that. All you have to do is be determined to outlast those who think that they're your enemies, those who want to oppose you, those who want to try to stop and hinder your progress. They can't do it. They cannot hinder your progress. They can't hinder you. You have to outlast trouble. You have to outlast difficulty. You have to outlast challenges. With that truth and that type of determination, you can win every battle. You understand? Every battle that's placed before you. That's without even the awareness of the ancestors that's rooting for you. You know, we like to talk about foundational problems and curses and juju and hexes, spells, hoodoo, depending on where you're located. And we like to try to come up with explanations as to why we have these challenges. I'm not saying challenges aren't real. Challenges are very real. But you have to understand that everything, no matter what challenges present themselves, you can outlast all of them. You have to be determined to outlast all of them. And they are not more powerful than your ability to outlast challenges. And when you really let that sink into your psyche, into your soul, into your spirit, that I am not done. I am not, this is not it. The thing that kept me going when life presented challenges to me when I was a young woman was that I just said, I'm not going to allow challenges to stop me. I am not going to allow challenges to stop me. You may have to slow down a bit. You may have to reroute. You may have to re strategize. You may have to rethink. What can I do? How can I do this? What's another way around that? That's a strategy that you use to outlast your enemies, to outlast challenges. And a lot of us are so busy and so worried about what people think about us, especially in this day of social media and influencers. You can make money from having followers, and that's okay. It's okay if you have that as a means to take care of yourself. But you have to get to a certain point in the mindset where you said, I don't care if I don't have any followers. I don't care if nobody clicks. I don't care if I don't have any followers. I don't care about being monetized. Mm-mm. Stay true to who you are. Stand on your convictions and just be who you are supposed to be. Even if no one understands, if no one likes you, no one follows you. I post what I post. I don't get paid for this at all, believe it or not. No, I'm not seeking for attention, believe it or not. My persona is such that I love just to be to myself. Like, I would not have a problem. On my Facebook, I have a Facebook. Most of the time, I do not allow people to comment on my Facebook. There's a reason for that. Because I find that people always want you to argue and debate with them. They want to be disrespectful. Um, People want you to believe like they believe. They want you to think like they think. Um, and, and that's not who we are as a people. We're not meant to always think alike and be alike and dress alike and act alike. Um, we're different. We're different people. And if we're different, we ought to celebrate being different and be proud of being different. You have a different culture. I have a different culture. It's nothing wrong with being different, having your own belief system. And I think too many people have the expectation, that we're all supposed to be alike. We're all supposed to think alike. We're all supposed to govern ourselves alike. We're all supposed to worship alike. And that's not true. We're not all supposed to think alike. And that's when we get into problems. When we think that we can force people to believe like us and act like us and dress like us. This is the whole gist of racism and tribalism and all the isms in the world, classism. When we're trying to make people be like us and we discriminate against people just because they're not like us. And that's wrong. That's just wrong. That's not right. That is not right. Okay. So, I grew up in America and I found out that I do have Nigerian roots in my DNA. I have Saudi Arabian roots as well. Maybe a little bit of Congo. I'm kind of like a DNA mutt. I was surprised about the Saudi Arabian roots. I have quite a significant percentage of Saudi Arabian in my bloodline. I took my DNA test in Abuja when I lived in Nigeria. And so I was really shocked. I was really, really shocked. But it helped explain why I'm open to other spiritual belief systems. I grew up religious because of where I am, where I was born, who my parents are. But I'm open to other forms of spirituality and religion, and that's because it's in my bloodline. All right, I have bloodline from the Middle East, so I don't think that I don't, unlike a lot of Americans, I don't believe that people who are practicing Muslims, are all evil and want to take over the world and radicalize. That's crazy to think that way. I know some very awesome Muslims. I know some very law abiding Muslims. I know Muslims that contribute back to their communities and society, take care of their women and their children, even much better than a lot of Christian men. No attack on the Christian men, but this is something that I notice. Muslim men take care of their families. They take care of they protect their women and their children. They're law abiding. They're very integrous. They have a lot of integrity. Um, so I don't understand. Like, I'm here in America, and there's this whole sentiment against Muslims because of the whole ISIS and Boko Haram propaganda a narrative that this administration is pushing, that, the people, Islams, are just this and they're that, and we need to go over to Nigeria, intervene, and save all the Nigerian Christians. And so there's a lot of people that have this mindset and the stereotype of what Islam is and how Muslims are. And I try to break stereotypes. I don't like stereotypes because stereotypes, it's not true. They're not true most of the time. And they're not true for everybody. And it's hard breaking stereotypes and trying to educate people against the propaganda machine, against the false narratives. It's hard because it's been pushed for so long. And then the Christians, they have this, this fear tactic. If you're not practicing Christian, and if you don't practice Christianity the way I practice it, and believe it the way I believe it, and preach it and teach it the way I preach it and teach it, then you're into witchcraft. When a lot of the practices that are in the Christian church came from West African spirituality, a lot of them. But they want to act like, it's demonic and it's wicked. I had someone ask me outright yesterday who lives in West Africa. He was born and raised there. And he just came out and said, "Do you practice voodoo? It's bad. It's wicked. You need to leave it alone." And I just told him, I said, I don't practice voodoo because I'm learning about it. I told him I am open to learning more about it. I have visited the festival, the Voodoo Festival, not this year, but last year. I went to the Sacred Forest in Ouidah, and I went to the Door of No Return in Ouidah, and it was just a very spiritual experience for me. It was very powerful. Being there in that area was a very spiritual experience for me. It was very spiritually powerful for me. It was freeing. I felt free. I felt like, hey, excuse me, I could be who I am. I could actually seek that which I've been seeking and wanting to seek all along. But I've been told that I'm not supposed to seek that. I'm not supposed to want to, And it's actually awesome because, excuse me, y'all. It's awesome. It was an awesome experience. And I would like to go back one day. Very freeing place spiritually. And I think more important than the political climate when it comes to spiritual people looking for a place to live and be, and exist in harmony with one another and nature, you have to look at the spiritual climate. You can have all the economic advantages and political advantages of a place, but if it's not spiritually aligned and spiritually balanced and tolerant, yes. I think if I could describe Ouida, Cotonou, and parts of the Benin Republic in a nutshell, I would say they're very spiritually and religiously tolerant, which makes it a really great place to explore your spiritual roots because it's tolerant. There's nobody that's going to persecute you because of your religion or your spirituality in that area. Whereas America, some parts of Nigeria, huh? I can't speak for other parts of West Africa because I have not gone, but when you find all that spiritual and religious conflict, that's because you're living in an area, a spiritual climate that is not spiritually tolerant. There's a lot of disalignment in that area. There's a lot of unrepentant sin, if I could use that word, in that area. There's a lot of spiritual laws that have been broken in that area, and people in that area, whether it be the ancestors that have gone on or the people that are living in that area, have not sought out to make things right. And as a result of not being spiritually aligned and not being, not wanting to get it right, it causes chaos in the region. It causes chaos in the atmosphere. And if I can explain what's going on right now in Nigeria is a direct result. It is a direct result of a people wholesale. Not all the people, but just most of the people are too proud to admit where they messed up. They're too religious, and the ones that are spiritual are using the spirituality and monetizing it even. Monetizing it for financial gain. And they're not using the spirituality that has been handed down to them or been trying to be handed down to them by their ancestors to try to make things right with themselves or with anyone else. So you can't expect the land to bless you. You can't expect to get everything you're supposed to get or to benefit from that area if you are not in alignment spiritually. I think that there's scriptures in the Bible for Christians. There's scriptures in the Bible that talk about the land even being cursed. When you are not doing what you're supposed to do. Deuteronomy 28. You can work and work and work and work and work until your fingers fall off. But if you are not spiritually aligned and if you have not sought out to make things right and to just, to use the biblical word, repent of the sins and the crimes, not of only yourselves, but your forefathers and your ancestors. And we honor them. Yes, we revere them. But we also acknowledge they messed up sometimes. That's not dishonor to admit that. That's us saying, hey, I honor you enough to tell the truth. And also, some of those ancestors are depending upon us who are still living to make it right for them so that they can go on and transition to the next round and be in peace and be in harmony. They're still disembodied spirits and tormented on this earth plane because nobody is willing to admit that the ancestors messed up in some areas. They messed up. They made mistakes when they walked the face of this earth. And they didn't realize some things. They were not aware of some things. And they want to try to make it right so that their descendants are not suffering the same fates that they did, not making the same mistakes that they did. And too many of us, I don't know, to say that and to admit that. Huh? You think that that's sacrilege and dishonor to the ancestors. And it's not. It is not. That's honoring them. They want you to acknowledge that. They want you to acknowledge that they made mistakes, and they want you to help them get it right so that they can pass on and they can transition. Yes, they want you to. They're waiting on us to help make it right so that we don't have to go through, and our children and our great grandchildren and our great great grandchildren can prosper, can succeed, and can be promoted and can go further in life than they did. Do you think the ancestors are honored when you make the same mistakes they did? That's not honoring the ancestors. By making the same mistakes they made, they want you to learn from their mistakes. Do you hear me? Your ancestors, my ancestors, they want us to learn from their mistakes because they want us to go further than what they did. They want us to do better, to go farther than they did. I promise you. Let's learn from the mistakes of our ancestors. And one of the mistakes that some of our ancestors made is demonizing African spirituality and being afraid of it. Why are you afraid of it? Why are you afraid? Who taught you to be afraid of your ancestry? Who taught you to be afraid of your spirituality? Huh? Who taught you that? Who told you that? I'm a living ancestor. I'm 56 years old, and I'm here to tell you the ancestors want us to learn from their mistakes, to embrace our spirituality. They want us to pick up the mantle and the power that so many left aside because the religious people told them that it was evil and demonic. The ancestors say, pick up the mantle. Pick it up. Learn of me. I want to help you. The ancestors want to help you. They want to help us. But we have to be willing to embrace the ancestry, our ancestry. Stop thinking the foundation is all evil. All of the foundation isn't evil. No. They had some good ancestors. They had some good foundation in our bloodline, in our DNA. Don't let church people and pastors and apostles, those same apostles and pastors that's telling you the herbalist is a demonic and the babalawo is evil, are going to those herbalists and those babalawos themselves. They're going to the rivers. You know it, and I know it. They're summoning spirits, they're sacrificing, they're doing all kinds of things. And it's not to help anybody but themselves. They want to build bigger, more powerful ministries, be a part of the religious cabal. Because that's where the money is in the church. They want to make sure that they're not struggling, that their lights stay on. They want to make sure that their kids are taken care of while you and your family struggle and suffer. And they tell you the powers that they sought so they can appear powerful during service. They don't want you to seek that because that's their bread maker. That's the way they make money. That's the way they keep you in bondage, keep you in poverty. keep you subservient to them and their ministry, keep you on the workforce, hmm keep you a religious slave on a religious plantation called the church. And you can't appreciate what that is, that analogy, unless you are African American and know the history of what they did to slaves on the plantations, how they were treated, how my ancestors were treated. That's what a lot of your pastors are doing to you right now. They didn't start out that way, no. But as they did the church thing, they stayed becoming pastors, what have you, they realized that, hey, the power and the money in this thing is when we go to the spiritualists and we go to the herbalists and we do certain rituals, sacrifices, so that we can build our churches and have more money and have more power. And then we'll go in the pulpit and preach about how much power we have, knowing that we got the power from the very source they're saying is demonic and telling you don't go to it. Anyway, I told my friend that asked me about Vodun, I don't see a problem with Vodun because what we've been told about it is all lies. And it's sad. What's sad to me is that I appreciate Vodun and I'm open to African spirituality, but you are right on the continent. You're right there. And you don't. You don't appreciate it. You demonize it. You criminalize it. Oh, I hear this and I hear that. And it's sad because it's right there. It's right there. And you demonize it. And you let people tell you that it's wicked and evil. And you let people scare you. You're very superstitious. How Stevie Wonder sang? Very superstitious, writing on the wall. Look up the word superstitious. It's not a good meaning. You can never grow spiritually. Religious people always wonder why religious people aren't spiritual, because it's not possible to be spiritual in religion. Remember that. It is not possible to be spiritual within a religious setting or in a religious culture. It's not possible. It's a contradiction. The answers to what's going on there lies in the spirit. You need to come out of religion in order to solve your problems. Trump and military intervention from the United States or China or Russia or any other outside source is not going to solve your problems. It's going to happen spiritually. Embrace spirituality that our ancestors embrace and practice. It's going to solve a lot of problems. It's going to help you. Don't just take white man's or anybody that look like us word for it. Embrace spirituality. Do your own research. Do the work. Find out. Talk to your ancestors. Ask them for direction, for clarity of purpose, protection, favor, to fight for you. Contend with those who contend with me. Save my children and grandchildren. Watch what happens. I'm going because I don't want to be on here too long. And I hope that you guys have a great Saturday. And stay safe, stay connected, and be open. Stop letting religious people control you. Okay? You guys have a great day.